Hey friends, let's talk about engineering your environment so that the structure of your environment naturally supports you in moving toward your goals, the things that matter to you most. Now, I know a lot of you guys got into entrepreneurship because you wanted freedom. You didn't like the structure of a job or having a boss telling you when to show up and how to do things. And you wanted that freedom. And so you might have a little bit of resistance to creating structure. And that works against you once you have the freedom to do what you want, to go after your own goals, given that a lot of the structure that we create is to serve us and what we want. So I want to suggest that you think about structure to overcome this conundrum, this problem where you need the structure to go after your goals, and yet you want to resist it because you're afraid of it, because it feels like it's trapping you. I want to remove that mentality by asking you to think of structure like you think about the white lines along a highway. They're just there to guide you. They're just there to stop you from drifting off the road and to help you to get to where you want to go. They don't actually control you. In fact, you can drift across those white lines, bump across a bouncy field towards a forest, sit by a lake, fish all Friday afternoon if you want to. And metaphorically speaking, I encourage you to do that on occasion, to take your schedule, which is probably creating a calendar structure is one of the easiest ways to create an environment that interfaces with your brain in this case, to guide you to do the right things, the right times, to prevent chaos and help you get towards your goals faster. I want to encourage you to sometimes violate that structure you've created just to prove to yourself that it is under your control. So then you're less likely to rebel against it. You're more likely to see it as the tool that it really is. It's a tool to help create an environment that naturally pulls you towards your goals instead of having to rely on willpower to make yourself do the right things all the time. So one of the best ways you can do that is to take your calendar, work from your calendar, and use it to create habits so that you're so used to doing certain things at a certain time that you're not relying on willpower. For example, some of the boring admin duties that you feel reluctant to give up for whatever reason, but you need to hold on to for some reason. If you have Friday mornings for 3 hours set aside just for those admin tasks, you get so much into the habit of doing that every Friday morning that you don't really have to think about it or rev yourself up to do it. It's just a part of your routine, and your calendar pings you and says, okay, it's time to work on that. It prevents the chaos and the buildup of stress that happens when things go unpaid and you can't remember what you did and whether you did those things already or not. And it creates cascading problems that have that rolling snowball negative spiral effect. It prevents that because you have this place that's in your calendar that contains all of that chaos, and make sure that those things are cleared off of your mind the rest of the week so you can focus on what really matters, those growth tasks that you really care about. So we're talking about creating routines there, which is a part of structuring your environment to support you going after the goals you want, but to not fear those routines, to treat them like they are. They're tools that you create for yourself in order to achieve your goals. What you're doing is you're recognizing how a little bit of forethought can allow you to interface with your own human mind to get yourself to do what you want more of the time. And just by occasionally breaking those routines on purpose, you can help yourself to remember what really matters. And it's not the routine itself. It's getting yourself to deliberately do the kinds of high leverage actions that are going to ultimately get you to the end goal that you care about most. So here's your challenge this week. There's 1,000 different ways that you can structure your environment to support your goals, whether that's an alarm clock that reminds you to get up at a certain time in the morning, or whether it's just working off your calendar and taking a little bit of time to slow down to speed up by structuring your calendar in a way, thinking it through. How can I time box some of the most important things? How can I chunk things together so that I'm doing less task switching and actually making more progress on some of the bigger tasks that require extended blocks of focus? Whatever it is for you that you know already, it would just be better if you had a little bit more structure around that thing that matters to you. I challenge you just to slow down long enough to create that structure so that it speeds you up in achieving your most important goals. I'll talk to you again next week.